Remember the BRESLAU-FRIENDS. The expression Breslau-friend is about the type or character of an individual who can hopefully be found everywhere, not just in the city of Breslau, which is now called Wrocław and is located in Poland. Today is Wednesday the 5th of May in 2021. Some time ago, in the confrontation between the Warsaw Pact and NATO, approximately between 1945 and 1990, Germany was a frontline state and therefore with special security interests. The visible and invisible security agencies were very active here, and it has also been said that you can run into problems when working for the Secret Service. Also, newspapers reported a lot about the intelligence work. A good education included the exercise to distinguish in newspaper articles between truth and lies. Who was interested, as I was, informed himself from publicly accessible sources. I myself found much in a public library, among them the books of the author Schmidt-Enbohm. Above all, however, I was raised in the spirit of the new constitution of the Federal Republic of Germany, which, after the restrictive dictatorship until 1945, guaranteed new and unique freedom. This constitution, which is still in force, is called the Basic Law, the Grundgesetz, and it does not only have guiding paragraphs, but, unlike some other constitutions, it describes and guarantees freedom in great detail. There is a translation into English on the internet, but in my opinion this version is not translated well enough, because there the choice of words is softened, as if they were just an intention. But in fact, it is guarantees that this law requires. After the dictatorship of injustice until 1945, I firmly believe this is truly a blessing and, for me, still one of the best constitutions in the world. Here's a little detour. Maybe it's related, maybe not. Around 1990, I was asked to sign an appendix to a home savings contract, which surprisingly also mentioned a surrender of inheritance. Fortunately, I had taken part in a voluntary law course on this subject of contract law at school shortly beforehand, which then naturally made me refrain from signing. So I did not sign this strange contract, and to this day I do not know the intention behind this attempt. As I said, there was a lot of reporting about intelligence service in newspapers and, for example, in books from Enbohm. He's the most renowned author. What I didn't like about the things I learned was that you were not even allowed to inform your relatives about the employment relationship with the Secret Service. That you keep quiet about the content of your work was clear, but you were not even allowed to tell that you worked for them. Then an interesting incident. In the early 90s, I met a student in Freiburg who asked me without introduction, out of the blue, whether I would possibly like to work for German authorities. It sounded like I was offered work as a clerk, and he said one had observed me for some time and one would be interested in me as an employee. Okay, I thought, so I had attracted positive attention and was now being offered work. But I had already decided that before any work with any state agency, I would first find out if I might be working for the Secret Service, because I wanted to avoid that at all costs. They almost never said who they really were, so you had to ask. You had to ask extra to find out. So I asked, can I openly say who I work for? The answer was, after some hesitation, no, you will get another identity for safety reasons. I added, may I at least tell the family? The answer, I don't think so. But with these prospects, the offer was out of the question for me. This was too bad, because this in itself was interesting enough to be considered, because I was looking for work. I became curious and wanted to know more. For example, what the pay would be, but the student just said, if you do not want to work for this agency, then I can't tell you anything about it. And that covers the story. That I am being watched, this in itself does not seem to be uncommon in this country. It is common knowledge that tens of thousands of phones are being tapped, and I remember that one paper once reported that almost 20 different intelligence services or agencies are around. Hence, I like to give this declaration, which is very important to me and for you also, I think, and therefore this takes the form of an oath. I swear, and God is my witness, that I have never been an employee of any intelligence service, and that I have never collaborated with them. And I do not want to become a member in the future, even if the issue of the identity thing is abolished, because I want to remain free in responsibility before God and man. My method of gaining knowledge is exclusively out of analysis, and this only from legal sources, and this always out of private interest. And in doing this, I want to abide by the constitution of this country to the best of my ability. God be with you until we meet again.